Do you find that you sometimes have problems playing licks as fast as the pros do? Well, there's a good chance that they're using techniques called Hammeron Pulloffs and Legato. Legato is stringing together some Hammeron Pulloffs to make some really cool and fast sounding licks. My name is Owen Vickers from Guitar Mastery Method. We have helped tens of thousands of guitarists from all over the world, just like you, to really make incredible advances in their guitar playing. If you're just getting started with the hammer-on and pull-off techniques, check out some of the other videos on the Guitar Mastery Method YouTube channel. I'll put some links in the description box down below on how you can really master this technique on the guitar. Okay, let's start off with a simple hammer-on pull-off exercise just to get our hands warmed up and get us used to playing these techniques. Okay, so what we were doing there is just starting off at the 5th fret on the 2nd string, the B string. We're picking that note, then hammering on with our 2nd finger to the 6th fret, and then pulling off back to the 5th fret. And we do that 4 times. And then we're going to do the same thing but with our 1st and 3rd fingers. So 1st finger at the 5th fret, 3rd finger at the 7th fret on the 2nd string, 4 times. Then same again with our 1st and 4th fingers, 1st finger at the 5th fret, 4th finger at the 8th fret, 4 times. Then we bring it back down to our 3rd finger, then our 2nd finger again. Let me just play the whole example for you slowly. Now it's a really good idea to practice this example to a metronome. Just set it at a nice, comfortable speed that you can play the exercise and get every note nice and clean and even. You really want to hear every single note coming out, the hammer-on and the pull-off. When you're comfortable at the speed on the metronome, just try increasing it a little bit, keep playing, and remember to keep it as clean as possible, and you can just keep increasing that speed until you get it as fast as you can possibly go. Alright, now here's an example using hammer-ons, pull-offs and slides using the pentatonic scale. Alright, let me break down what I played there. We start off playing the 12th fret on the 2nd string with our 1st finger, and we're going to hammer on to the 15th fret with our 3rd finger. We then play the 12th fret on the 1st string and hammer on to the 15th fret with our 3rd finger on the 1st string. Notice we just pick that first note, then hammer on, pick, and then hammer on. And then from here we're going to slide up to the 17th fret, then pull off back to the 15th. We're going to hammer on to the 17th fret of the 2nd string. We're going to do that without picking. So this is known as a hammer-on from nowhere. So we're making that note sound just by hammering straight onto the string. So after that hammer-on from nowhere, we're going to go back and do a pull-off to the 15th fret on the 2nd string. And then slide down with our 1st finger to the 12th fret. So that whole bit. So hammer from nowhere to pull off to slide. Alrighty, let me play the whole lick for you slowly. Okay, so in that lick we only picked 2 notes. First note and the third note. Everything else was hammers, pulls and slides. Alright, now let's combine our hammer-ons and pull-offs into a fluid run of notes. This is our legato technique. Okay, so that lick was in C major. We could play it over an A minor. And it's using a 3-note per string C major scale. But of course we're only using 3 strings out of that. Okay, let me take you through it note by note and then I'll play it slowly and we'll break down everything we've played in there. Now we start off by picking the first note, and this is the only note that we pick in the whole lick. We're on the 3rd string at the 9th fret with our first finger. Pick that note, hammer on to the 10th fret, and then hammer on to the 12th fret, and that's 1st finger, 2nd finger, 4th finger. And then we're coming back down the other way, so we're going to pull off from the 12th to the 10th, and then from the 10th to the 9th. Now remember, take this really slowly to begin with. Practice with your metronome at a nice slow speed, just to get all those notes really nice and clean. Okay, the next note we play is a hammer-on from nowhere at the 12th fret on the 4th string, the D string, with our little finger. Then we're going to pull off to the 10th fret, and then pull off to the 9th fret. So far we have we're going to go down to the 5th string, the A string, hammer on from nowhere at the 12th fret with our little finger, pull off to the 10th fret, pull off to the 8th fret, and then we're going to come back up, hammer on to the 10th, hammer on to the 12th. Now, just a note, there's some stretches going on here, which you may not be used to, especially between your 1st and 2nd finger there going over 2 frets. If you experience any pain, discomfort, stop what you're doing, stretch it out, hands a bit of a rub, forearms a bit of a rub, have a little bit of a break and come back to it. Alright, back into the lick. We're going to hammer on from nowhere, and this time with our 1st finger at the 9th fret on the 4th string, the D string. And hammer on to the 10th fret, hammer on to the 12th fret, then down to the 3rd string, the G, hammer on from nowhere at the 9th, hammer on to the 10th, hammer on to the 12th. Alright, so that's the whole lick. I'll play it for you slowly. Alright, now if we want to have even more of a stretch in our hands, if we're feeling comfortable with that one up there, we can move it down anywhere we want on the neck. We can move it down to play it in G. So starting the lick off at the 4th fret on the 3rd string. It's getting a really good stretch down there. Now, when we're doing these legato runs, we want to make sure that we're muting out the other strings around the string that we're playing. So when we're doing that, what I'm doing with my 1st finger is just lightly resting it on those top 2 strings. So I'm fretting that note on the 3rd string and just muting out those other 2. And I'm using my palm of my picking hand there just to try and mute out those bottom 3 strings so that only that one string is able to ring out properly. Then of course as I move down to the next string, my finger, 1st finger, taking out those top 3 strings, and my picking hand's taking out the bottom 2 strings. And when we get down to the A string, first finger taking out those 4 strings, and my palm just resting to mute out that low string. Alright, got one last legato lick for you. Check this one out. So this really cool sounding legato lick is just using one string, and we're playing C major or A minor, C major scale, and we're just playing that on one string, sliding down. Let me just play it for you slowly, and then we'll break down all the notes. Okay, this one's a little bit of a challenge, and it's getting all your fingers involved, sliding, hammering on, pulling off, legato, all the cool techniques. Let me take you through it note by note. Okay, our first note is at the 15th fret on the high E string, playing that with our second finger. So we pick that note, and it's the only note we pick in this whole lick. Pick that 15th fret, hammer on to the 17th with our little finger, pull off to the 15th, pull off to the 13th with our first finger, and we're going to slide our finger down 1 fret to the 12th. So that's so far. And from there we're going to go straight into a hammer on to the 13th fret with our second finger, and then hammer on to the 15th fret with our little finger, pull off back to the 13th, pull off to the 12th, slide down to the 10th. So we're just taking these little 3-note patterns and moving them down the scale. Okay, we then hammer on from the 10th to the 12th fret, that's our third finger, and hammer on with our little finger at the 13th. This could be a little bit of a tricky one because that whole 3rd to 4th finger, quite a challenge. So we've got, then pull off back to the 12th, pull off to the 10th, slide down to the 8th. Alright, next part of the lick. From the 8th fret we hammer on to the 10th, then hammer on to the 12th, and that's first finger, second finger, 4th finger, pull off back to the 10th, pull off to the 8th, slide down to the 7th fret. Alright, so the last part of the lick, we're here at the 7th fret on the first string, and hammer on to the 8th fret, hammer on to the 10th fret, pull off to the 8th, pull off to the 7th, then slide down to the 5th. So even though I was picking quite a lot of those notes just to sound them out so that I could show you what we're playing slowly, we only picked that very first note of the lick, and then all the rest is just hammer on, pull off, and slide. Let me play the whole thing for you slowly. Alright, well I hope you enjoyed that trip into the world of legato playing. Hammer-ons, pull-offs, slides, and of course the legato. Great way to add some speed and excitement to your own guitar playing. In the description box down below, I'm going to put a link to a guitar cheat sheet, which is going to instantly show you how to solo in any key. Now this cheat sheet is a great reference guide for your practice sessions and your guitar playing in general to really push it to a new level in a really short period of time. Alright, until next time, see you in the next lesson.